why flies are around you? And if you spiritual, you will know this. Or if you don't know this and you're not spiritual, well, let me warn you. You have monitoring spirits around you, and they're sending you the evil eye. These people are jealous, envious, and hating. They want to see your failure. That's why you're seeing these insects, flies, gnats, these bugs. They're trying to warn you in the spiritual way, in the spiritual sense of signs and synchronicities, that people are monitoring you. On all these social media accounts, you have evil spirits, evil eyes, jealousy from all these people that don't like you. They go for family members, friends, co-workers, colleagues, because they see the reality of your life and they don't want to see you successful. They want to see you fail. That's why you have people gossiping, lying, manipulating the situation. They never support you. That's what you have to understand. These are monitoring spirits.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Understanding the spiritual significance of flies. That just means that people, see, we got a lot of flies here in Texas, ever since I moved to San Antonio, because I know there's a lot of people back in Georgia who are just waiting to see if I fail while I'm here in Texas. And I know some of them are watching to see if my wife fails while we're here in Texas, because, we had flies when we lived in Atlanta. We, opened up the cigar lounge. We had the popcorn shop. There was flies all the time. And this one time, for about a week, there was so many clusters of flies that every morning that I walked into the popcorn shop, I was like, God damn, there's a bunch of flies in here. There's about 40, 50 flies in there, because I know people was in there and they was trying to destroy the business. They were watching all these evil spirits of fly, because all flies have this evil spirit about what? Oh, my employee had left the bag that was putting trash outside the door. And that's why the flies kept coming in, because flies look for a food source. And he was providing them a food source. And that's why we had those flies in there that time frame until I taught him where the dumpster was. Oh, okay. But still, we would be in the cigar lounge, and every now and then, especially, during the summertime, it seemed like the flies and the gnats, they would just come into the cigar lounge every now and then. And they would just try to stay in there. And they would, the flies look for warm areas that they can come in and habitate in. And then, of course, they like tobacco leaves. So that's why sometimes you got flies. Oh, and because we left the door open. We left the door open all the time. Then to let the smoke out. So that's why flies was coming in. Oh, okay. But then still, though, it's been flies that I've noticed when I was living in Georgia my whole life. And there was always a bunch of flies and everything. But that's why I love Germany, though. See, because when I went and I was living in Germany, I hardly ever saw flies. During the summertime, you might see some flies. Now, I understand it's warm. Flies have decreased by 76% in Germany because of loss of habitat and insecticides, and they have harsher winters. So they hibernate. Flies hibernate. Flies hibernate. That's in the wintertime. So that's why you don't see them in the wintertime. So that's why, we keep these people from spying on me and everything. I'm going to move down to Antarctica, because they don't have flies in Antarctica, because I'm in Antarctica. You can't see what I'm going to be doing down in Antarctica. And that way I won't see no flies, The spiritual symbolism of flies is courage and regeneration and agility and adaptability and change. So flies is a good thing spiritually, according to. Well, see, this is why that shit is a whole bunch of bullshit. It is simply this. Almost every place on the planet, there are flies. Wherever there's a food source, wherever it is warm enough for flies to exist, they exist. Flies are on the earth in order to clean the earth up from dead things. So when you provide a food source around you for flies, that's when you're going to get flies. So maybe she sees flies and gnats in her house or around her because she needs to clean up her house and stop providing food sources. And like when you leave fruit and the fruit starts getting older, especially like bananas and plums and apples and stuff like that, when they get older and you get gnats around the fruit, is because you're providing a food source for them. And then when you see that person walking around and they got a bunch of gnats, They usually don't smell good. So they are perceived by the flies and gnats as a food source. So maybe she just needs to clean her body and clean her house, and she wouldn't have to worry about flies. But as far as them being spiritual symbols, it depends on who you're talking to. Some people say it's a great thing. Some people say it's not. It just shows you that humans will make up some type of religious affiliation with damn near anything and everything. And they all are going to be different. You got multiple sources saying that flies are good for you. They're great. But the true reality of science is your ass stank and you need to clean your house. But always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.